testify with or without your mask, whatever makes you feel comfortable, okay?
Yes.
All right. Will you please raise your right hand for me? You so solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much. Mr. Fitzmartin?
Thank you, Judge. Can you please state your name and spell your first and last name?
Gilad Nissanov, Giladnissanov.
And how are you employed?
I work at Diamond and Gold Exchange.
Are you one of the owners there at Diamond and Gold Exchange?
Managing partners, yes.
And what is Diamond and Gold Exchange?
So we buy and sell jewelry, precious metals, coins, items of that nature.
And where are you located?
In North Dallas on 635 and Coit Road.
So there's a shopping center there at 635 Coit.
Yes, sir.
And in the shopping center, what other stores are there in that shopping center?
There's Starbucks, coffee. There was a cleaners at one point. There's a beauty school. There's
Is there a Metro PCS?
yeah, there's a Metro, and there's a Subway as well.
And how long have y'all been in that location?
Since 2010.
And tell me, how does your business work there as far as people coming and going and buying and selling from the public?
Okay. So people come in and they bring in items for us to go over and assess. And we go over the items and then we make an offer on the items.
And how do you know what offer to make?
So with appraisers on site, we go over various items just based on expertise more than anything.
Okay, and you rely on what you've done in the past to evaluate jewelry, evaluate precious stones, metals, and that and whatnot.
Correct. Yes.
And then the amount that you give out, are you hoping to then flip that and make more money on the sale of that down the road?
Yeah. That of course.
That's your business model, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Back in starting in 2015 and going up into 2018, did you do business with an individual by the name of Billy Chemirmir?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to look around the courtroom and see if you see anyone in here that looks similar to, or is, you can see Mr. Chemirmir.
Can he take his mask off? That's him.
That's the man who just took his mask off. That's Billy Chemirmir.
Yeah.
All right. Let the record reflect the witness has identified the defendant in open court.
All right. The witness, excuse me. The record will so reflect that the witness identified the defendant in open court.
Now, at some point in time, did the police agencies come and visit with you regarding Mr. Chemirmir and his dealings with you?
That is correct.
And did you provide records to the police department?
I did.
I'll show you State's Exhibit number 286. When someone comes in to buy and sell, you try to get IDs from them.
We have to do that one.
Okay. And so 286, is this a collection of the IDs that were given to you by Billy Chemirmir over the transactions that you all have done with him?
Yes, these are.
287, do you all keep receipts of transactions that you do with Mr. Chemirmir?
Yes, we do.
And with everybody else?
Everybody.
And it's 287, so we got about 34 pages. Sometimes there's 2 receipts to a page of transactions between your establishment and Billy Chemirmir.
Correct.
288, is this a summary of what's contained in State's Exhibit 287, showing and translating some of it? Is this your handwriting, is your brother also another partner there?
Yeah, some of it's my handwriting, yes.
Okay, but you can identify all that handwriting.
Yeah, of course.
And then is this kind of a summary of that, showing what your handwriting lays out and the amounts that were sold or bought from Mr. Chemirmir?
Yeah, yes.
289, they also ask you to try to pull any surveillance video. You have surveillance video in
Yes.
your store. Did they ask you to pull surveillance videos of transactions with Mr. Chemirmir?
Yes.
And did you were you able to find 3 transactions on March 19th, or not 3 transactions, but 3 clips of Mr. Chemirmir on March 19th?
Yes.
And did you email those clips to the Plano Police Department and 289, the emails that you sent those clips in?
Yes.
State's Exhibit number 290, are these the 3 clips that are discussed in State's Exhibit 289, dealing with March 19th and showing Mr. Chemirmir in your store?
Yes.
And then State's Exhibit 291, is this a still shot from one of those videos of Mr. Chemirmir at about 101 on March 19th?
Yeah, that is.
Judge, at this time we will offer State's Exhibits 286 to 291.
The defense would object to 2 State's Exhibits 287 and 288. 287 are the, copies of invoices or receipts between Down Gold Exchange and Mr. Chemirmir. And 288 is basically a list of those same transactions. And Judge, we object to the relevance of those, any of those that are not tied directly to Mr. Chemirmir and issues in front of this jury. So our objection to the relevance as well as the 403 objection, that their probative value is outweighed by the prejudicial effect on Mr. Chemirmir. If you don't have any objections to 286, 291, and 289. And 290, yeah.
So can I see 287? State, do you have a response?
Judge, these are the transactions that Mr. Chemirmir made with this establishment. I think it is relevant. He did state, as we played in his statement, that he buys and sells jewelry, and this shows the the sellings that he was doing at the Diamond and Gold Exchange. I think it is relevant. It's business records. They've been on file, or the defense has had these for over 14 days before the trial.
All right, State Exhibits 288 and 287 will be admitted along with 286, 289, and 290 and 291.
The permission published?
You may.
All right, so 289 or 286, what we're looking at here, these are some of the IDs that you took from Mr. Chemirmir when he's making transactions. Is that right?
Yes.
And you would keep those for your records so that you can establish when you buy stuff from an individual.
Correct.
Looking at State's Exhibit 287, this is a packet that's from page 1 to page 34. And when we look at this, we can see that you're going to list off who the customer is, and his address and his phone number there, that 972-674-7527, right?
Yes.
And then you have, you write in here, what are you writing in here?
These are the different items. 925 is sterling, and 750 is 18 karat, and then silverware platters as well.
All right, and then the amount that you're paying him that amount, $1,000 at that time.
Yes.
And then you have a date there, looks like November 23rd of 2015.
Yes.
And then each one of these is that same scenario of his name, the item, the amount. Is that right?
Yes.
And the date. You can go through this to see all of those different transactions, correct?
Yes.
Now, at some point in time, because that handwriting, you know what it says, but maybe not everybody else does, right?
Okay.
Okay. And so, State's Exhibit 288, have we summarized, you just said 925 meant something to you, and then it says it's sterling silver, 92.5 pure silver.
Yes.
Okay. And so, you had 750 here, and then there's a translation of that, 750, 18 karat gold, white or yellow.
Yes.
So this 288 is basically a summary of everything that's happening in 287.
Yes.
And so it lists off, we just talked about November 23rd, that there was 925, 18 karat silverware and platters for $1,000.
Yes.
So these list off all of the transactions that Mr. Chemirmir was making with your establishment starting in 2015. All the way down to March 19th of 2018.
Yes.
And the total of the amount that you all sold to him was in that time span is $91,300, or you bought from him, it was $91,350.
Yes.
On page 27 of this, of the 287, are there two transactions? One on January 30th. You see that?
Yes.
And then one on January 31st.
Yes.
And when we look at January 30th, there was a transaction for 14 karat with diamonds for $2,150.
Yes.
On January 31st, 14 karat, 18 karat diamonds for $3,050.
Yes.
On March 19th, there was a purchase for $105.
Yes.
Now these last dates here, March 1st, 2nd, 4th, 9th, they also have the hours that these things were sold. You see that?
Yes.
Now, you could get video of him at your store during those hours.
Yes.
But those other, prior to that, you don't know what time he actually came in because you didn't keep those records.
The video doesn't keep for.
For that far back. So what I'm saying is if we were to rely on what's in 287, your invoices, you don't write down the time on there. You just write down the date.
Correct.
So 2 sales were made at your store. You're purchasing them, right? But he's selling it.
Right.
Is that fair to say? And then even going beyond that, if we look at February 8th, February 14th, there's other gold, other things being sold to you as well.
Yes.
These are the emails that you sent to the Plano Police Department, in this case, to Detective Hoffman. You remember meeting with Detective Hoffman about this?
Yes.
And each one of these clips has a unique number. This 1521480, this long number, that's a unique number for each clip.
Okay.
And so this first page of 289 deals with this clip. So there's a clip that ends in 3984, 4739, and 1864. Do you see that?
Yes.
And then the different times. So 319 at 1236, 319 at 1256, and 319 at 101.
Yes.
We see here in 282 in State's Exhibit 291, 319 at 101. Is that Mr. Chemirmir sitting in the chair?
Yes.
So we can see the clip number on there is 1521 with ending in 1864. And do you see Mr. Chemirmir there in your store? Looks like he's using his phone or on his phone.
Yes.
Appears to be dressed in a jacket, blue shirt. Was he always kind of well dressed when he came into you?
Yeah, sometimes dressed in a suit.
What else would he wear?
Sometimes it's like
You can pull that microphone a little closer. Get a little closer.
Sometimes like scrubs as well.
Okay. Is this him at another time on that same day collecting money from him?
Yes.
And that was clip number 4739. here's your last one. Is that Mr. Chemirmir walking in?
Yeah.
So, and that's for clip 3984. So, people don't, thank you, Judge. People don't have to make appointments to come see you, right? They just walk in and you service them right there. At that
Correct.
So we know that on 3/19, that day, he made a sale to you all. We can see you got $105.
Yeah.
So, you show them there on 3/19,
Yes.
making that sale to you.
Yes.
And your store, you said, is a Diamond Gold Exchange on the corner of basically Coit and 635.
Yes.
And then on January 30th, you made two sales, on the 30th and the 31st, you made those two sales to you
Yeah.
as well. I'll pass on this.
Mr. Warren, any questions?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Good morning, is it Nisana? Am I saying that correctly?
That's right.
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning.
My name is Kobe Warren, I represent Mr. Chemirmir in these proceedings, Mr. Nisana, and I just have a few questions for you, okay?
Yes, sir.
I believe you stated with Mr. Fitzmartin that you've been in this business with Diamond Gold Exchange with you and your brother, and I guess a few other partners, is that correct?
Yes.
Is that since 2010 or since when?
2008.
2008? And has it always been at this location that we've been discussing here this morning?
No.
Okay, where was the prior location?
We have other locations as well.
Okay, how many total?
3 locations.
Okay, 3 locations, for approximately 13 years you guys have been in this business, is that correct?
Correct.
And during those 13 years, I guess it's fair to say that you have some customers that will come in on a one-time basis and sell some precious metals or jewelry to you, is that right?
Correct.
And then I'm sure you have some customers that you've had for several years, is that right?
Correct.
You have any customers to this day, Mr. Nissanov, that you've had since you've opened?
Possibly so, but it's hard to remember exactly.
Okay. I mean, so but there's nothing odd about a person coming in and on a regular basis selling you jewelry or precious metal, is that correct?
That's correct.
Like, that's not out of ordinary, that happens all the time in your line of business, right?
Correct.
Actually, it's better for you, isn't it?
It's better for us, but it happens. It does happen.
Right. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Nissanov.
Thanks.
Anything further?
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, make this witness be released.
Yes, Judge.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. You are free to go. Thank you so much.